From Provo, Utah, this is the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast with your hosts, Joseph DeGolier and Kaleb Schweiss. This is Ultima Final Fantasy.
Welcome to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the ultimate Final Fantasy podcast. I'm your host, Kaleb.
I'm your other host, Joe.
And today we are going to be doing the final On the Way to a Smile episode, entitled Episode Lifestream, or Case of Lifestream, which they switched to after the first one. Because the first one was Episode Denzel, and then every other one, according to Lifestream.net, great job on the translation. And
fantastic job, tremendous job.
Yeah, I couldn't have done better myself.
The best job.
And yeah, they just switched to Case of blah, 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 Case of. So I guess technically Case of Lifestream, but I will call it...
Is there any such thing as technically when it's a translation?
I guess not. It's just what they say it is. We basically just have to believe it.
Just believe whatever.
Yeah, so episode Lifestream.
There you go.
But of course, before we get to that, I mean, it's been a couple weeks since we talked to you guys, and we have been playing Final Fantasy XIV. We're back in the groove of that, sort of.
I'm back.
Yeah, I don't know if I could say it's totally back in the groove, but we are back in Eorzea at the very least.
Yes, we are. We're a good way into Heavensward, believe it or not, and we only started playing a week ago. Yeah, I think what'd you say? You were a third of the way through the game already?
Yes, I'm a third of the way
through the quest list.
Yes, the Heavensward mainline quests. I am about a third, and Joe's just barely behind me.
Yeah.
So we're going through them pretty quickly. I mean, how are you feeling about the game so far? I mean, it's strange because there aren't really any dungeons yet, and I think I'm on a mission where I'm going to get a dungeon finally. But
please,
thus far it's been just fetch quest or a little story quest, and which is weird because a lot of 14 before, I mean, there were a fair amount of normal quests where we weren't in a dungeon, but I feel like we had more dungeons. We had more of a way to kind of plan out our week that's ahead of us. Like, okay, let's get to this dungeon by this day, this dungeon by this other day.
We did. And
this time it's like, just play it, and when we get to a dungeon, we'll join.
This is a single-player game, Schweiss.
Yeah, it is.
So the way it works most of the time, most of the quests, just like it was in ARR, most of the quests are talk to this person, go over to this area, talk to this person, maybe grab this item, or fight these little monsters, and that's the end of most of the quests. There are a lot more single-player duties in this than I remember there was in A Realm Reborn. They are more complex, though, those single-player duties, which, if you don't know what a duty is, it's like if there's a boss fight or a single-player small dungeon or quest, it goes into a whole new thing where
it's
you
like
can
an
restart
instance.
it over and over again if you need to. And they're usually pretty challenging, and sometimes they can be really fun. But that seems to be like Heavensward's like thing, is those single player instances. There's a lot more of them than there were in ARR, but at the same time there's no dungeons so far, and we're like a third of the way through the game, still no multiplayer. Hey guys, I just got to this part, you want to join me on this dungeon? It hasn't happened yet, and I am not happy with that.
Yeah, there are a lot of side dungeons, but I mean, I don't know if you want to do those necessarily.
I might want to do a few. You were talking the other day about, like, maybe we should do some question for most of you to the 14 players that asks, hey, in order to get the full 14 experience, what do we need to play
Yeah.
outside of the main story.
Yeah, I mean, I want to do the coils of Bahamut. That's one thing.
Try it at least.
Yeah, try it. And that. Although, honestly, dude, our gear now is probably sick. It's beyond that gear, because every time they come out with a new expansion and more story, your shit gets better. So, I mean, the coils, I feel like those were... And don't quote me on this. I think that was just a Realm Reborn, because it's in the trophy list, and nothing from the rest of it was in there. So I think that's an older... really fun sounding dungeon, so I think that's one
probably
I
a level 50 thing.
Yeah.
Does that mean we can't use the equipment we have? Is the question.
We can still use the equipment, but we might get level synced to 50. I'm not sure how that'll work, but I want to do that. I know there's the Hildebrand quest line is supposed to be really funny. I think that one would be fun to do. Yeah, honestly, I think at the end of this episode, we should ask what is essential, because, I mean, multiple listeners have told us, yeah, the story's great, and it's cool that you guys are going through that, but the game really shines. You guys should
really do this.
Yeah, the game really shines with these, with the multiplayer, with the dungeons, with all of this stuff. So, I mean, I will do any dungeon I come across, but...
I almost feel like we should do a Heaven's Word review by itself, just normally. And then, like... 2 weeks of, okay, we're going to dick around in the game for the same amount of time that we've been doing Heaven's Word, which we've been doing. If you want to watch Kaleb stream, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Usually Mountain Standard Time. And that should be enough to get us to kind of taste all the other stuff, and then we can have an episode on that separate from Heaven's Word. Because I don't want those things to color how we see Heaven's Word on its own. I almost kind of want to like...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Part of me agrees, but then part of me acknowledges that this game was set up to be an MMO, and to just judge everything based on the story content isn't... I don't know if that's really totally fair.
But you should... I mean... Ideally, you should have everything that's available in the game be at least touched upon while you're doing the story. So let's say they're doing these trial things. I don't even know what the hell they are. There should be that somewhere in the story. Whatever this new like fighting player arena thing, or the Golden Saucer area, there should at least be like 1 or 2 quests that have you being in that area and being associated with that thing.
Yeah,
if it doesn't have that, I'm kind of disappointed in that.
I mean, there are, but they're side quests usually. So.
Yeah, I would say like main quests though.
Yeah, I think that would be an appropriate thing, but you have to realize though, some of the stuff might be newer, because like when they build the story, they release it in patches,
right?
With that extra content. But yeah, it would make sense while you're releasing. Oh, hey, there's this new thing. Let's do a main quest to introduce it.
Because in order to get up to that certain place, a great way to level up at least your main class is to do the main story content. You get a lot of XP from it, and you get some good equipment, I assume. I guess some 14 people might be able to correct us on that. Of course, they looked at my equipment and said it was fine, the people playing with us.
Yeah.
So you're getting all that stuff. In order to do the extra stuff, why not touch upon the extra stuff as you go along?
Yeah, just introduce it gracefully, just like a little mini quest, like, hey, go learn about this.
I mean, 11 was bad at that too. Like, we would hear about things you can do in Wings of the Goddess or whatever.
Yeah.
That had to do with like what you do in a certain area, but it wasn't really introduced.
Yeah, it wasn't advertised necessarily.
In the story of the game. And regular first-player Final Fantasy games, they do totally do that.
Yeah, they introduce you to the mini-games.
Yeah.
And, like, the hunts.
Usually, at least.
Yeah.
They'll introduce you to some sort of concept that then spins off into a mini-game. So I think the easiest one is the Golden Saucer in 7. Part of the game is going into the Golden Saucer.
Yeah, and then you have
you're surrounded by things that are saying, play the fucking mini games right here.
Yeah.
And it's nothing like that, except there are dungeons, and then there are optional dungeons in 14.
Oh, Alistair in the chat says stuff like Palace of the Dead, which is like a 150 floor dungeon or something like that, were added after the story was basically done. So all we could do was go by patch notes. So, I mean, like I said, that's one of the concerns I had, like if they had already released the story, but I don't know. I just feel like they should give us at least a taste of the things. I mean, 11 did that in some respect anyway, like with the imprimaturs, even though they were awful, it told you what you needed to do. It's like, oh, hey, there's this thing. You got to go do these little quests to unlock these deals. You have to go do... there were a bunch of different quests in that area, in that final expansion, that you could level up certain aspects with. So, I mean, it made it part of the story. So, I mean, they figured it out later on then.
You could even do something, though. Like, let's say 11 did this, which it totally did not. Let's say that in 11 you went to a certain place to do part of the story, and then someone was like, you'll get there faster if you get a chocobo. Go talk to that guy over there.
Yeah, that's true. We had to just go find...
You just had to find it through the fucking wiki.
Yeah.
Which is... it's obnoxious to me. I would rather have someone, hey, you might want to...
Yeah, especially because you can talk to everybody.
You can rent a car in Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah.
You might want to talk to this person if you would like to rent a car.
Yeah.
Which happens in Final Fantasy VIII. So I don't understand why they can't take a little piece of that.
Yeah, just a piece of the pie, a piece of the main story. Because there are so many quests where you are basically doing nothing. I'm like, okay, I want this piece of this animal. Go kill 3 of them. You could replace some of those with...
Well, at least you're doing something in those quests.
It's true, but as opposed to just talking and waiting for their...
Which A Realm Reborn was
awful
talking to people.
Yeah,
all the time.
And it was mega cutscenes too, and that's something that, like, after a while, you just get tired of reading it when you want to just go through the story.
Yeah, so that is an improvement in Heavensward, though. There's a lot of voice-acted cutscenes. The cutscenes do tend to be shorter than they were in A Realm Reborn, but everybody is still talking in a passive voice, and it takes forever regardless. But it is better in that respect, at least so far. But I am disappointed that there's been no dungeons, nothing teamwork related in the main story. That's
it's true. I mean,
disappointing. I did like the Raubon part where you had to free him, and it was the poison area. You had to go find the switch. That was the funnest part of FF14 so far for me, outside of the fights with my friends.
You just gotta start getting on the dailies, I think, because we can team up for the daily roulettes now. We can get into a party and we can all do daily roulette.
We could do that. Okay.
Yeah, so I can. The only issue is that I want to do White Mage as my daily roulette because I have it at level 48 now.
That is an issue.
Yeah,
because I ain't moving.
Yeah,
I'm steadfast.
I don't know. I am kind of. Hopefully, we can do some where we have 2 white mages and we're both running it. But so far, it's just been the only dungeon I found, the optional one in one of the areas, the snowy area. Not that helps necessarily, but it was like a level 50 dungeon, level 51. So I couldn't even use my white mage. I just had to go in as black mage.
What could happen in Heavensward is that maybe near the end of the thing, it's just all dungeons.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
That would be fun. It would probably be frustrating because we're so used to just plowing. I do there is a satisfaction when you got the list of things and you're just checking them off. You're like, sweet, I'm going to get done with this game pretty quickly. But yeah. That's where we are in Heavensward right now. I am surprised by how little multiplayer there is in the story of Heavensward.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I want to have us experience at least the essential viewing, essential playing, according to the listeners, because I keep hearing it especially from that Roxo about how the game doesn't shine from its single-player campaign. It shines from all of the extra shit that you guys aren't doing. It's well, we probably should do it then to truly experience the game.
To a point. I'm not going to do every fucking thing.
Well, yeah, everything takes years.
Yeah.
So
that's why they're still playing it.
Exactly, yeah. They have been playing it.
It's no good until you do glamour, until you get some glamour.
Yeah. That sounds awful. For that to be the thing that I wake up and throw the game on for, it would be time to move on.
It would be.
No doubt. So,
All right. Well, speaking of moving on, real quick, I'm going to do some plugs. You can find us, this show, you can find us at youtube.com/Ultimate Final Fantasy to see our previous streams and the live episodes that are nice and messy for you.
oh yeah.
You can go to facebook.com/Ultimate Final Fantasy, join the conversation there. You can tweet me at Joseph DeGolier.
Me at UFF Podcast.
You can go to our website, ultimatefinalfantasy.com, find all of that stuff, join the forums, ask the questions there, talk about Final Fantasy in those forums, whatever you want to do. And you can support the show via that main page on our website. There's a Patreon link right there. If you want to support us monthly, there's also an Amazon link that you can click through, buy your Amazon stuff. We get a small kickback. And then PayPal, if you want to give directly to PayPal, we would really appreciate all of that. So, and last but not least, we do have a phone number you guys can call. It's 385-204-3921. That's 385-204-3921. And you can leave a message or an intro to the show. And we get excited about those ones.
Oh yeah, they're always a treat. So
yes. So let's get to the news.
News.
That's a very strange hiccup there. So you remember that Final Fantasy XIV Daddy of Light thing, right?
The show we're totally going to watch?
Yes, the show we're totally going to watch. Apparently they have a couple trailers out now. There are two versions of the commercials.
We already watched one trailer.
I'm pretty sure we watched that top one, didn't we?
I don't know. Dude, it was like, no idea.
Let's watch it. They're eating their noodles. Both playing. This is such a bizarre...
Something about breakfast.
Oh, overflowing the tea. All right, so it looks like from that trailer they're starting to figure out that they are each other's like teammates in this game, that they have helped each other out. So.
We'll find out when we watch the goddamn show.
The plot thickens.
We'll find out.
Yeah, Daddy of Light does sound like a BDSM thing.
It was a Netflix show, wasn't it? Did we see that?
Dude, I can't remember.
I think it was. If it's a Netflix show, that means it will be available. Because Netflix, all their shows are available in all platforms.
Right? Yeah.
Even their foreign shows. Which, if you guys are studying Japanese,
it's a good place to go.
You can go. I'm serious. This is the best. This is fantastic. It's tremendous way to study Japanese, at least for listening and reading skills. There are Netflix original, and they're kind of crappy, but there are Netflix original TV shows that are Japanese, and you have the option, even in your Roku or your Apple TV or your PlayStation 4, when you go into the subtitles area, you have the option to put in Japanese subtitles. So you can read the Japanese subtitles along with listening to the Japanese speech.
Oh, okay.
So not just English subtitles. For those who are trying to study Japanese, and I know a lot of our listeners are like big anime fans, and that tends to be like a...
Yeah, they're like,
when you look at a chart, what do you call those bubble charts where you get the overlap?
The Venn diagram?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Venn diagram. Okay, you get a Venn diagram, and you got the anime fans, Final Fantasy fans, and then you have people who are trying to study Japanese.
Yeah, and then in the middle,
there's a big overlap.
Yeah, right in the middle, there's Krinatal, and then a bunch of the other guys.
Yeah, anime, Final Fantasy fans, and people who are studying Japanese. That's right.
I like Japanese. I only know like 20 or 30 words, but
I know 600,
nice.
And I'm losing all that information as I go along.
As you communicate via English.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of Final Fantasy XIV, though, the Make It Rain campaign is returning, or I guess, is returning on May 29th, and it will run to June 12th. I guess last year they had one that took place in the Gold Saucer. They had prizes, 50% more MGP rewards, and a mystery that had players tracking down all the clues to solve it. So this is kind of like the...
that is the ugliest cactar.
Yeah, that's a
thunder side cactar.
Yeah, that is quite the cactar.
Pantsless even.
Yeah, it's got his cactar balls hanging out. But yes, if you guys want to start this, you can find it in the Ul'dah Steps of Nald at X 9.4, Y 9.2, and you'll be speaking to the beggarly bloke. This is kind of, did you ever do any of those like Christmas quests and stuff while we were playing
Halloween
14?
one.
Halloween one, yeah, that was cool.
The only one. That was that was pretty fun.
It was like,
we did one that was like an FF11 overlap one as well.
Oh
with
yeah,
the Roja.
That one was awesome.
Yeah, that one was pretty sweet, and it had the FF11 music going.
Yeah, I was like, man, this is way cool.
It was pretty sweet.
Iroha. But yeah, we had one of those as well. So these are all pretty fun. I would recommend you guys dive into this. By participating in the event, you'll have the chance, I don't know what that means, to obtain some exclusive prizes, including Modern Aesthetics Rainmaker, which is a hairstyle, Stuffed Sabotender, which those are the little cactuars, Thunder Thigh, hopefully. Golden Saucer, Attendant Card, Roland Card, and Gigi Card. I don't know what the hell those are, but yeah. If you're interested in that, go check it out. Oh yeah,
those are Thunder Thigh cactars.
Yeah, they are, dude. They got it going on, right? So Final Fantasy XIV, we also got a sneak peek at new moves from Stormblood. I'm not going to go into that. It looks cool. They're like revamping the almost everything. It looks like in this game. I heard
some chat on the old Discord channel. So Krinital has a separate Discord channel. And we're going on there because that's where all the people are who joined the...
If you want to do it, just tweet us and we'll get you in that room. It's available for all.
We'll get you in.
Yeah, VIP.
We know a way. Yeah. We know people. But
girls get in free on Fridays.
They get in free every day.
All right, fine.
So, yeah, I was hearing things like there's not going to be virus in the game anymore. And I'm like, I fucking use virus all the goddamn time.
And they're not going to have cleric stance, which as a combat white mage, I'm going to be losing my shit because I love switching between DPS and healing. I think it just does it automatically, though, is what it sounded like.
So maybe...
So while you're healing a bunch, you'll basically get the effect of non-cleric stance, and then doing Stone 2, which is like all you do, will do more damage. It sounded like it was something like that. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass, but...
Well, maybe they would just make the white mage stronger. That wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, that would be a lot easier because the white mage doing the quests, the main story as a black mage is like cake.
Oh, I'm sure it fucking is.
I just throw.
You don't have to restart single thing like 3 times.
No, I don't. I've died.
So I need to heal this person, and then I need to kill this thing, and then. All it is for you is killing.
Yeah, it is.
That must be fucking nice.
I have to heal myself sometimes. But
I have to heal the NPCs.
Yeah, that's...
all because I don't do enough damage to wipe.
Yeah. Treasures of Otter gone, anybody? Jesus.
Oh my god, dude. It's awful. And then, like, there was someone in the chat who was like, I was a white mage once, I understand. Like, they went through as a white mage. I was like, oh, thank God. So it's not just me being an idiot.
Yeah.
It's...
do you use repose?
It's just part of the thing.
Because repose is like my best friend when I'm a white mage. That's the sleep move.
Oh yeah, I've done that. When you got a big group of guys.
Yeah, just put everybody else asleep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the only way to survive.
It's the only way to fly.
Yeah, so that's cool. And shit, with Stormblood, we actually have a new video and a new main theme song called Revolutions, which is composed by Nobuo Uematsu. I actually want to play this thing, and we'll probably get shit on for it.
We'll get flagged.
Yeah, but I don't care.
On Twitter, on Twitch.
Yeah, I don't care. I think we got to listen to this thing. I have not heard it yet. Have you?
Nope.
Okay, so this is first time Joe and Kaleb.
Stir it up.
Looks like Koji Fox wrote it, the lyrics.
The English lyrics. It's better than having them write the English lyrics.
liking that samurai, the Orin outfit. Well, the ending was cool.
I'm not sure if I dug the first half of that song. I liked the second half. It started warming up to me.
Yeah,
I was listening to the song more than I was watching the footage.
Yeah, it's No Answers or Distant Worlds, but
yeah, she's. But I'm telling you, Susan Calloway. I'm pretty sure that she gives everybody copies of free trial for 14 because as long as the game keeps expanding, she has a job.
Yeah, a well-paying job, I would assume.
I hope anyway.
Yeah, not feeling that one as much, but I did like I like when it gets epic at the end.
Yeah.
But the whole, I don't know. Cool. There were also a few screenshots, some samurai.
And there's a shitload of stuff. When is that thing coming out?
I am going to have to play Samurai. I think it's the July... Oh, shit. June 20th. Sorry,
20th?
I'm mixing up because I pre-ordered Final Fantasy XII HD and Stormblood Collector's Edition. $200 each. It hurts, but they look awesome. And one of them comes out in July, and the other one comes out in June, and I can't... Because I think it's because I pre-ordered 12s first that I'm thinking, oh yeah, one's in June, it's going to be 12 because I ordered that.
So we got to beat Heavensward before the Stormblood
Yes,
update?
we have to beat this before that comes out, or we won't know how to play the game.
This podcast will go a lot faster.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I was like, hey, I want to touch on some of the other stuff, but it needs to be essentials because I want to be done with it and then relearn the new system when we come back in. I feel like that will be more appropriate because we'll be rusty anyway.
Yep.
Because we were definitely rusty getting back into this.
Oh, what? No. I was like, fuck, which is the spell I used all the time?
Yeah, and then I got White Mage, and I was like, I feel like I had a sleep spell in here. I don't remember. And then finally, like 4 days in, I was like, oh, it's the Repose thing. Shit.
Yeah, I can't remember the names of the spells. I see the picture, and then I know what it does.
Yeah, so we're definitely rusty, and we're going to have a little bit... we have a little bit of time to play with this. That's what, like another 3 weeks? Yeah, 3 weeks and 3 days, and it's out. So
fuck.
Yeah, I don't want to relearn the new battle system in the middle of a playthrough for a review.
Oh fuck.
Yeah,
that's my
fuck it. Yeah, so like I said, though, there are a lot of things, new teases for job actions, a lot of stuff for Final Fantasy XIV. If you guys want to hear more about that, always check out LBR for your 14 fix, because they care way more.
And we don't want to do that job.
We don't. That is a podcast in and of itself, though, with how much they change and add to 14.
I mean, we've talked about 14 for almost this entire thing. We've barely touched the game.
Exactly. This has all been 14 talk, and I think I've put like 10, 15 hours in recently. So Final Fantasy 15 did the ultimate slap to the face and had a survey that referenced specific DLC options. These include story content, Arden's Past. Okay, I want that. Story content, Luna Freya's activities. Oh, I want that too. Story content, Korra's activities. Oh, that'd be nice. Story content, The Line of Lucius. Story content, Ifrit's Betrayal. Story content,
Ifrit's Betrayal? They're actually going to talk about that?
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah, story content, World of Ruin. Story content, Noctis's Disappearance. Playable character, Core, Aranea, Iris, Luna Freya, Gentiana, hard difficulty, improved armature abilities, and a new stat-changing magic. And they have a survey out that...
Not sure about the stat-changing magic.
Yeah.
That sounds like fucking
and
FF8 shit.
This is something you vote on. So they have a poll to choose what part of the game that they didn't give us initially that they want to give us now. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, I want
all the story content ones at least.
Every bit of it except for maybe the hard mode, because I can't imagine that it would be even that hard, because the game was a cakewalk once you got the combat down. I died one time.
Yeah, I only had problems in one dungeon.
Yeah.
Now that dungeon was a fuck.
Yeah.
But that was because of the triple Iron Giant and the Naga fight 4 times in a goddamn row. You know, if you've played 15, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't even know. I think that was optional, actually.
If you fuck up, you go there.
Anyway.
So I didn't hit it the first time I went in. I did not hit that room at all.
Fucking brutal,
I just went right to the end boss.
And fuck you.
The second time I went there, the second time when I was going after the hunt, that was the final boss that I had killed previously, right? I did hit the Naga room, and I was level 60, and it was still like, I was like, dude, this is balls to the wall in here. Like, nothing else really prepares you for this moment.
And nothing else matters.
Yeah. 15 is also going to have a new update on May 24th. Psych, that was 3 days ago. Where they added
5 days ago, or
it'd be 5 days ago now when you guys are hearing this. 3 days ago or 2 days ago when we're recording it. they had a survey in Taiwan, and they decided to add a mellow-tasting, stinky tofu to Ignis's cooking. They had a snapshot photo contest. They're going to actually, whoever wins it is going to have the photo displayed at the Hammerhead restaurant. So that's actually pretty cool. So like if you win
cool.
Yeah,
it's
they're
like
going to
connected
update
in some way.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
they're going to update it with the picture that you nominate. A survey for the next
Everybody's
game.
got to nominate their fucking goofy pictures too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They fixed an issue that caused the game to close while on the timed quest ranking screen. Okay, that's
Mine was Noctis feeling Gladiolus's abs. That's my favorite.
Yeah,
one of my favorite ones.
There's another costume that's going to be available on the PlayStation Store and Xbox Store on May 30th. So just a couple little things. I do really like the idea of that photo though, like them just adding it for everybody. I think that's pretty cool.
I'm just remembering the second time you beat the game, and there is a part in 15 where one of the photos you do shows up in like a tender moment, you would say.
Yeah.
And Kaleb had the cleavage of Cindy in full view be the photo.
Yeah, the final moment.
It was so funny.
Dude, the one I saw... honestly, dude, the one I saw online that was the best and that made me laugh forever was the fucking cup noodle one. Like, it was just a photo of the fucking cup noodle with some shrimp and shit in it.
Yeah,
and
I remember that one too.
And it's all like, oh,
fucking
here we go. Oh man, it's like, this is my story now. Jesus, cup noodle.
Cup noodle loves all this free advertising.
Yeah.
Well, it probably wasn't free, but
37 cents a piece. Why not? This is kind of some disheartening news about the Final Fantasy VII Remake and that Kingdom Hearts 3 game that they've been talking about since I was born. They are going to be released sometime in 3 years or so, according to a recent interview. They have a slide that had a lineup for fiscal year 2017 as well as for 2018 and beyond, and they plan to launch each of these upcoming titles in the next 3 years or so.
In the next 3 years, so it could be closer than.
Yeah, in the next 3. So, I mean, it could be a while, but I honestly, given the next piece of news where they are desperately seeking people to join the Final Fantasy VII Remake team.
If you know Japanese and you're a high-level programmer.
Yeah. I can be like, hey, I know exactly what happens in the story. You guys should let me be in the game. But seriously, they have like these weird messages from Yoshinori Kitase, Tetsuya Nomura, and Naoki Hamaguchi, where they're just like telling them what they're... All right, I'm going to read Nomura's here. I believe that many of us developers share the same feeling that Final Fantasy VII is a special title. 20 years have gone by, and the number of generations that aren't familiar with Final Fantasy VII is increasing. I don't know about that. So we must remake the game using today's technology and systems in order to make it into a title that can last several more decades. Reproducing the world of Final Fantasy VII in high definition requires an extraordinary amount of time and resources, so we'll need all the help we can get to shorten that. As those of you concerned with the industry may already know, the number of domestic staff is significantly lower compared to that of foreign high-definition developers. Therefore, in order to further strengthen the development of this title, we must urgently recruit as much staff as possible. By all means, please join us in delivering the world of Final Fantasy VII once again. Like, each of them have like this little... This is what I'm going to do. We're really excited about it. Join the team. And I'm like, dude, I really wish...
they're just hiring a whole bunch of people to finish the game.
Yeah, to work on the game. I think it's honestly a thing that is very early on in development, it seems. And hopefully we do get it within the next 3 years. But, I mean...
Oh, within? Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
Within the next 3 years.
I don't know.
I don't think it'll be longer than that.
The nice part is we'll be much further along, and maybe Kingdom Hearts 3 will shoe in right after Kingdom Hearts 3.
Shoe in right at the end.
Yeah. So who knows? Now for the important news. Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age. We have a bunch of new stuff. There's a lot of OST, some high def running around Rabinaster. Some really, really psych you up kind of shit. They're really hitting home with the articles and whatnot with this remaster, which is weird, but whatever. And apparently it's not just going to be a really easy remaster. Apparently, they're fucking with stuff a little bit.
What are they fucking with?
Well, here's a recent interview from Hiroki Kato, a producer for the game. He says it's not just a simple remaster, and we didn't want to simply make a cosmetic upgrade because with the change in hardware, the way people play games and what people expect from games has changed somewhat. So the way we did it is that we wanted to make a game that would be accessible by modern gamers. We spent around the same amount of time as you would to develop a new game, to make it like a new game for the modern day rather than a simple remaster. He also says we didn't want those who played the original and enjoyed it to have we wanted them to have a new and exciting experience, but we also think the game is so good that we want new players to experience it as well. He's pretty vague in this interview. It does sound like they're going to tweak some stuff.
Very platitudinal.
Yeah, it's more of this isn't just an easy job, dude. We're doing some stuff. We're doing things, and
things here. Come on.
Hopefully, it's not too crazy because we're already going to have to get used to the Zodiac job system. This is one of the weirdest collaborations I have seen so far. Apparently, there's a
furry light.
There is a Reebok. They're teaming up with Reebok for Judge Master model Fury Light shoes. They look Judge-esque, I guess. They're these really weird.
Are those kid shoes or adult shoes?
I am positive they are adult shoes. Those look too big. So it looks like it's all in Japanese, so I can't really tell what is going on with pricing. But
what?
If you want some Judge Magistrate shoes that aren't metal and awesome, you can pick that up and tear it up, walk around town.
Okay. All right. Is the rest of the news just new trailers for 12?
Yeah, there's supposed to be one that's pretty funny.
Okay.
Let's see if it's this one. Well, that isn't in English.
I don't know what the fuck's going on.
So Jake told me there was an awesome trailer about like getting to know Final Fantasy XII in like a minute or something. Let me see if this one is still Japanese. Fuck, it's the same one. Just so if you want to check that out, that should be available on YouTube. Just search Final Fantasy XII, Get to Know You, and tear it up, I guess. Yeah, they're building a lot of hype around this remaster. I mean, I don't remember this for, what would the last one be, 10 and 10-2s? But that was a while ago, too, so I probably wouldn't have been looking up Final Fantasy news because
probably
it was
not
pre-podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway. It just seems like a lot. Not that that's a bad thing, I guess, but...
Okay, well, I think that's it for news this week. Let's talk briefly about the briefest of On the Way to a Smiles.
All right.
What smile was this on the way to, by the way?
It was on the way to the Smile of the Lifestream.
There we go.
TheLifestream.net presents On the Way to a Smile. Case of Lifestream.
The man could sense the Lifestream trying to erode his spirit. The memories of his former experiences, thoughts, and emotions. If he allowed himself to be taken by the current, the being he once was would soon disseminate and disappear amongst the spirit energy cycling around the planet. The man thought this unacceptable. The planet was his to rule.
Episode Lifestream. All right, so this one starts out right where you would expect it to. I mean, we are in the Lifestream. We have
we're literally, I believe, in the Lifestream.
Yeah, we are inside of it, and there is a woman in the Lifestream who could join the planet at any time, she says, which implies that she's going to go back and then be recycled, as we saw in that Bugenhagen video.
All this is proof that gender is really caused by the Lifestream.
Yeah. Yeah, fair.
There's men and women in the day. It is the Lifestream created society's views on gender twice.
Wow. Yeah.
I think that's clear.
I think it totally is too.
That it's a construct created by
The Lifestream.
the Lifestream and society at large, and the patriarchy. Schweiss.
Oh man,
It's all there because it's a woman. It says that right off. The Lifestream goes, "You're a woman,
yeah,
and you're a man."
that's too much power.
Too much.
So this woman, it turns out to be Aerith, and she senses an invader, some sort of evil force within the Lifestream. And of course, we pretty much know who this is. The only evil guy really left, or sort of left, because he was dead at the end, Sephiroth. And apparently Sephiroth only exists as long as Cloud remembers him. Now,
Or someone remembers him.
it said that, but
it also said if Cloud remembered.
yeah, and then it's like, I must remain in Cloud's psyche.
So that might have been lost.
So, you know what I think, if that's the case? You remember Sin City, right? I had you watch that movie.
It's great, yeah.
Yeah, it is. There's that part at the end where, spoilers, Bruce Willis's character is like, they'll never leave her alone as long as I live. And then he, like, blows his head off. That's what Cloud needs
That
to
is
do.
a huge spoiler for Sin City.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Sin City, it's all over now. Don't worry about it. That's the ending. Mega spoiler. But yes, that is what Cloud needs to do to truly get rid of Sephiroth. So what the... I don't know. He probably doesn't know, so whatever. The Lifestream, it's set up kind of like the Mormon afterlife thing, where like you get to kind of choose whether or not you want to accept the gospel. You remember that? Or like if you've lived your whole life without it, there are people who will teach this to you. They will teach it to you. Now, I'm not fucking kidding about this. They will teach it to you, and you will get to then choose to accept it or go to back to Earth, which is like hell, basically. Or no, it's even worse than that, isn't it? Isn't it like outer darkness for that? If you choose to still deny it in your afterlife?
No. Outer darkness is for those who have had a... Oh, my God. We're talking about this?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about
It's
this.
similar to it.
Okay, so Mormon theology, it's not heaven and hell. Heaven and hell are spirit prison and spirit paradise, which is a state of mind in the afterlife.
Okay, right.
Now, we still say heaven and hell as a shorthand, but it is not like it is in the Bible. So that's like your purgatory.
Yeah.
That's spirit paradise or spirit prison. And then those in spirit paradise are trying to teach those in spirit prison
Right.
about the gospel, and they can choose to accept free will and the gospel or not. And then when Judgment Day comes, they're split up into
three kingdoms. Yeah, one's really awesome.
So there's the celestial kingdom, which is Earth remade as a beautiful paradise. And then there's degrees of that. So terrestrial kingdom is supposed to be also great. But in the Celestial Kingdom, you get to be with your family.
Yeah, and you get to visit those in the lower kingdoms. I remember that.
I think that one might be.
It's Telestial and then Terrestrial, I believe. The mid-tier, the Terrestrial one is the one on Earth as it is now.
I can't believe I don't remember this anymore. Okay, so there's...
Because Terra is Earth, right?
Yeah, so... And then those are just degrees of glory.
Yeah.
So if you were an unbeliever, you're in one of those.
Yeah.
It's unbeliever and not a good person, you're in the bottom one.
Yeah, you're on Earth,
Unbeliever
which is awesome.
and a good person, and you're in the middle one. And then a believer and a good person,
right.
You're in the top one.
Right, so this moment in this...
So hold on. Outer darkness. I can't remember where this was brought up, Schweiss. Outer darkness is when on Earth you saw God... And then denied him later.
That's right.
So that's like a Mormon prophet then saying, I don't believe in God anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's big.
That's what that is.
That's big.
Big time.
And the reason why I bring that up is because it felt like that in this short. I mean, we have this area where like some people haven't accepted the Lifestream. They haven't accepted this idea, so they haven't been passed on through it. And some of them will deny it, so it almost felt like that. It almost felt like that little in-between thing where you get taught the truth, quote unquote. And
yeah, I guess it was like a purgatory or a Mormon purgatory.
Yeah, you're just stuck in this limbo until you decide. And there apparently are fragments of consciousness within the Lifestream, which reminded me a lot of Wings of the Goddess, the expansion from Final Fantasy XI, where you have to go pick up the character's consciousness and like remake her based on
you got to do the
her
same
memories.
thing with the soul pieces in Lightning Returns.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so it has some carryover from that. There's some darkness of the heart that melds with the Lifestream, so it's starting to get really messy. And apparently, the
because
stigma,
a bad dude went into the Lifestream and he fucked it up.
yeah.
Sephiroth is that. There's no one else that's that evil. Just Sephiroth going into the Lifestream. That's like really, he's sour in it, dude.
Yeah, he is. He's making it a nasty.
Of course, maybe he made it like weak with his meteor thing. I don't know.
Definitely, yeah.
What's the chemical process going on?
I'm not sure, but apparently he brands people with stigma. So we basically know everything there is to know about stigma at this point. The stigma is, it only works in people who either like have given up on life, are like very negative, they're kind of depressed, and then it also is used to brand people. And Sephiroth uses that to sort of control those around him, and he tries to manifest himself, and he creates Kadaj and Azu.
This is the key to understanding Final Fantasy VII Advent Children.
Yes, it is. This movie makes sense now that we've listened to this fucking tale, because we start Advent Children and we just have enemies that we don't know anything about. There's this weird stigma thing.
Weird connection with Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Sephiroth's trying to get back. Who the fuck knows how it works?
Yeah.
Now we kind of know. It's still bullshit, but now we kind of know how it works.
Yeah, we do. And Sephiroth, there's this really, really weird... Go ahead.
He's Lord Voldemort.
Yeah, pretty much. He's
It's
got
not
the
Horcruxes, but it's him residing in the Lifestream and then using the various ways to use the different Horcruxes. He is like... he's putting his souls in other individuals and shit like that.
Yeah.
And he is living through spoilers for the last two Harry Potter books. He is like living vicariously, and he doesn't quite have a full body, but they can through, I guess, his memory or whatever, some kind of magic, bring him back.
Yeah.
So Kadaj is a Wait, is Cloud a Horcrux?
Yeah, Cloud would be, yeah. He's the ultimate. He's the Harry Potter Horcrux in this thing.
He is!
He's Harry Potter.
And Cloud's like, the only way I can get rid of Sephiroth is by killing myself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but he never does it. He's too weak.
Shit, dude.
Yeah, he's going to have Sephiroth maim him, and everyone think he's dead for about 20 minutes, and then he's back.
Yeah, but he gets to see the afterlife for a second.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wrote down there was a little... a kind of a semi-homoerotic moment between Sephiroth and Cloud, where he's like, "Cloud will make me complete." It's a line he threw out there, and that was a little weird, but they do whatever you want.
Complete me.
Yeah. I also have a theory that Aerith used her powers within the Lifestream to reduce Tifa's breast size. Because we know that Sephiroth
Wait, where the fuck are you pulling this out of your ass from?
All right, so I know that I feel that Cloud has moved on from Aerith and is now realizing that Tifa is who he needs, and that's where he's going at the end of 7, right?
She's also got awesome knockers.
She does.
Okay.
But in Advent Children, everybody knows those knockers are about half the size that they used to be. At least.
Yeah, maybe she just like stopped wearing a push-up bra or something. I don't know.
Maybe. But I have a theory that Aerith reduced Tifa's breasts in order to have Cloud be less in love with Tifa and then remember how awesome things were with Aerith. And then the end of 7 doesn't really... It still works because now he's like, oh yeah, Tifa is the one. But then he's like, well, Tifa's kind of downgraded now. Like, Aerith was awesome, right? I remember Aerith being way awesome.
She had back problems, dude. She had to shrink them.
Yeah, I think Aerith did that so that she would then come back into Cloud's psyche and fuck up the ending to the game. I think that's exactly what happened here.
Oh my god!
And of course, Sephiroth kind of set up his Three Stooges.
So Tifa just wakes up some morning. She's like, "Huh, they're not."
Yeah.
Do they look a little small?
Are they smaller, Barrett?
Are they small? Hey, you're standing up a little straighter than I've seen you.
Yeah. You don't seem so fucking hunched over and like ruined.
Aerith did that through the live stream.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what happened.
That makes sense, dude. It all adds up.
Yeah. And then, like I said, Sephiroth uses those 3 Jokers from the movie to kind of do all of his work and set up his resurrection, his revival that we see in Advent Children. Honestly, this is it's a shame that this wasn't released in a better way. Because this one alone, the other ones can all fuck off as far as like connecting 7 to. I think they're all important, at least as far as the feel of the characters.
Not so much Shinra, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Shinra is a way to.
Episode Shinra was super long and nothing happened.
Oh no, the most bullshit thing happened in episode Shinra. They had a fucking a twirly slide down the side of the building in case someone needs to get out real quick. That bullshit was in that one.
Yeah, it explained. In quotes,
fuck that.
How Mr. Shinra got out of the fucking building, but
it's like Star Wars with the fucking I intentionally put a hole in the Death Star thing. Like, it's worse than that though by far. It's like this was a huge oversight in the first movie. Maybe we should put something in Rogue One that explains why there's a giant hole. Except,
wow, yeah,
that's how it feels. It's like they had a Deus Ex Machina and they had to explain why it was there when they could have just. He shouldn't be alive. Rufus died in Final Fantasy VII. He did not make it out. Okay, it's not a saying thing where the translation made it look like maybe he wasn't dead. He's dead, and they wanted him to be back for some reason.
So Sephiroth, he does the Lord Voldemort thing.
Yeah, he does
through the live stream.
Right.
So that was actually pretty important to understanding how the fuck he comes back.
Right, yeah. I mean, because he was definitely finished, right? He fell into it like dying and destroyed. So, Lifestream was creeping up. Everything's blowing up. He went down into it and seemed dead. And then we get the movie and it's like, what is happening? What the fuck is this? We have these...
And how he's able to, like, leave his mark on people living in the world.
Yeah, he takes them over by their level of malevolence, if you will. You could reference. And uses that to corrupt them and use them as pawns. So it
makes more sense. I'm glad this is the one, right? You're right. I'm glad we got through this one.
Yeah.
It's very short, though. That's pretty much all there is to it.
Yeah, it's like a 12-minute thing on Lifestream.net. Check that out on their YouTube channel. They do a great job of voicing it and translating it, I would assume. I don't actually know, but everything seemed fine. There are a few awkward things, but I assume that's just the language barrier. Some stuff just doesn't quite carry over, so...
Okay.
For the most part, yeah, I think this one is the most important. I don't know if it necessarily makes Advent Children better. I don't think that...
I think it's like Advent Children should have had this information in it somehow.
Yeah, and then the movie would have been better, I think. It would have been way less random shit happening.
Yep, totally random shit in Advent Children.
Yeah, and like, honestly...
Unexplained.
A viewer that has played 7, even like front to back the day before... would still be confused, just as confused as someone who had never played.
Sephiroth coming back?
Who had never played Final Fantasy ever. They would be equally confused at the story without this content.
Not equally confused.
Like, why do they jump so high? What's that magic thing? Why is it going into his hand? Yeah, maybe not equally as confused.
There was some good high jumping in the original 7.
Yeah, there were also some like falling from ridiculous heights and surviving too.
That's right.
Like, oh, you landed on the flowers. Yeah, but I fell through the roof first. Like that would have just chunked me.
And people land on dirt when they fall all the time. That doesn't mean they live.
Yeah, not necessarily.
You should be in pieces now.
Yeah, we should be piecing this fucker back together.
That's right. Of course, he did have the Mako infusion, but it failed on Cloud, right? Something like that. Anyway, all right. So we got to do rankings. I think we only did this the first time or the second time we did this.
It would have been the second time. It'd be weird.
Lifestream.net presents episode. Okay, so this is the list of the On the Way to a Smiles. And by the way, we did find out today there are 2 other novels.
Yes, one of them finished, one of them still being worked on by Lifestream.
Lifestream, yeah. they are finished from release from Square. But these are the ones for On the Way to a Smile. We got episode Denzel, Tifa, Lifestream, Barrett, Yuffie, Shinra, and Nanaki. So we got to rank these. And I like how you underlined your initial and not mine. I had to just add a little underline. Under J on this paper that you gave us.
Yeah, it's got my priorities straight.
So what is the? Do you want to go best to worst or worst to best?
I think the best way to go about it would probably be worst to best. Just so
worst to best.
Start from the bottom.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I am going to have to put.
Okay.
I can't. That Shinra one really pissed me off. It provided reasons for things that shouldn't have been in the movie, and it took its time. In fact, explaining the little chute of escape.
Yeah,
and I saw that cutscene, and I can't believe that. It's too much. And it took like 2 hours.
I'm not going to pretend like I remember everything that happened in any of these. The only one that's really recent is the Shinra one. I do remember thinking that was absolutely the worst one.
Yeah.
Because it was the longest one, and nothing happened, and what did happen was bullshit.
Yeah.
And you're totally right. Shinra is totally the worst one on this list. I think I'm actually... Yeah, I'd say we get a second, we get our list down, and then we come back.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we have convened, and we have come up with separate lists of our rankings of the On the Way to a Smile series. In last place, both of us have episode Shinra.
It's boring and
bloated,
long.
irritating.
And stupid.
Yeah, can't do it. Second to last for me is Barrett. Didn't really find that one that enjoyable. The voice acting, some of them bugged me.
I'm going to try not to judge it on the voice acting.
Yeah, but I wasn't really interested in what was going on either. So I guess, yeah, it wasn't very interesting to me. Joe has Denzel.
I agree. It's not that interesting. I think we got most of that information from Advent Children.
Yeah, we did.
It had to do with how Denzel got to be in their custody. But
right.
I kind of got that. I didn't need it.
Joe has Nanaki as his number 5. And I put Denzel's at number 5 because, again, it wasn't super interesting.
Yeah.
There were only a few things we didn't get from the main story. Number 4, both of us put episode Yuffie. It is kind of middle ground. There are some cool things. We did learn some great stuff about the Lifestream, or not the Lifestream, the stigma in that one.
And that was when the stigma was explained.
Yeah.
When we got to it. And I like the hunter part of that story, too.
Yeah, number 3 for me, I put Nanaki. I like the little story of the bear cubs. I thought that was pretty cool. And Joe put episode Barrett as number 3.
Yeah, I like the character building on Barrett.
Yeah, that's fair. There was some good stuff in Barrett. So
yep.
And then number 2 and number 1, we both have 2 as Tifa and number 1 as the Lifestream, solely for me due to the fact that it explains so much that wasn't in Advent
so
Children.
Quickly, by the way.
Very quickly, yeah. Like even quicker than the now canonized complete edition of Advent Children.
Okay.
Yet still more explanatory things in that than all of the extra 5 intros they added to the movie.
Okay, how do you feel about the On the Way to a Smile series as a whole?
Honestly,
we're done with it.
Honestly, it was all right. I kind of like how it does set the mood for some of the characters. Whether or not I agree with them going that way as characters is kind of beside the point. I liked the world building as far as like explaining what the stigma was. It does help Advent Children make more sense at the very least, but that's namely the last section of it, the 12 minutes of gold that we got with episode Lifestream. Overall, if you're a big FF7 fan, which I know most of you are, and you care about Advent Children, which unfortunately most of you also do that, I would definitely check it out. Lifestream.net does a great job of translating everything, and it'll be, I don't know, it'll take you 6 hours maybe? 5-6 hours?
If you listen to the book on tape that we did.
Yeah.
We just like doing that because then we're in the same room. We could talk about it while we're going.
Yeah.
And it also saves time in prep. But another thing is that, like, if you're reading this to yourself, I don't know anybody who, when they read to themselves, reads as slow as a book on tape.
True. Yeah, so it wouldn't take you very long.
So it shouldn't take you as long.
I don't know. What do you think? Worth it?
I would say just do Lifestream and Tifa, and I guess Shinra, because it does explain something that happens in Advent Children.
Yes.
But it is stupid.
Yeah, I didn't care for that one. It's very bloated. And honestly, all of them have their bloat moments, except for the last one where it's like, geez, man, we're like 30 minutes in, and I can recount what has happened in 10 seconds. Like, so they are a little long-winded, so filled with unnecessary info. But if you're a huge fan of Seven,
I'm glad Livestream did them.
Oh yeah, definitely. We wouldn't. We would still have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, well, we got another novel to go through after this. It's like a Maiden of the something.
Yeah.
And we just found out about these today. And then an entire novel that's based on the Turks that was released in like 2011. So, yay. Get to those.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right, well, we should probably answer like one or two questions and wrap it up.
All right, let's do it. It's been a while.
All right.
First up here is Tabletop Final Fantasy from MagJam. I apologize that this has been asked before.
MagJam, huh?
I thought I actually had already. But have y'all considered adding a Dungeons & Dragons style Final Fantasy game to your list? I'm talking dice, character sheets, and glory. Obviously, it wouldn't be a licensed game, and considering Joe's stance on mobile games, probably not. But if you do, and you figure out a way to do it online, sign me up. I don't know how we would do something like that online, unless we had a TeamSpeak or a Discord channel set up to like sit here and do our little playthrough.
Okay, what are the comments on this before?
Irat says you could also 3D print the characters you would like to play as, and Steven comes in and says an official tabletop game would be such a cool idea. Cooperative RPG light games like Zombicide are very popular right now. The common format of base set plus expansion characters would fit the Final Fantasy style very well, I think. I don't know if it would be popular, but I would buy it for sure. So this is like this is
D&D.
Yeah, this would be us developing our own D&D story based on Final Fantasy, which honestly we could just play D&D and we would probably
and then
be
call it
doing
New
the same.
Boreas and El Husk.
Yeah, the continued adventures.
Yeah. Okay. Our D&D experience is very limited. I bought a starter set, the little box starter set for Dungeons & Dragons 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I read the thing as thoroughly as I could. I tried to be the dungeon master. I don't get the game. I don't get how to play the game still. And then I saw that the rule book for D&D, not only is it like an expensive freaking book, but it's also like this. It's like an inch thick.
Yeah.
And it's just the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another book that has rules for different people. Like it's the rules for the players because the DM makes up the story and reacts with the players as they go along. So it's a good opportunity for someone who wants to like stretch their fantasy storytelling muscles, I guess, to be the DM. So I was interested in that because, you know, I try to write screenplays all the time, and maybe it would be a good way of just stretching some storytelling muscles. That's all. And then as a player, it might be kind of fun because we like RPGs, video game RPGs, and they, as far as I know, sort of function in the same way, except it's improv. Or sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's totally written down, or like a combination of both is what I'm guessing. What the thing that they're going for is.
Yeah.
it was the most confusing experience ever. We had fun doing like a little. We tried it out for like 30 minutes. And then it was like, okay, we don't get this. And then we ended it.
Yeah, and then we started playing Hearts again. So.
Then we started playing, a game that had hard and fast rules that everybody understood.
Right.
Very quickly. And so that's kind of where we are now. We did talk about this. There's been other questions about us doing like D&D sort of games before.
Yeah, Nude Clan.
On Nude Clan.
Yeah.
Because that would be kind of something that might be fun just as an episode to have us try on Nude Clan, not on Ultimate Final Fantasy. And so I would suggest whoever asked us this question, what's their name again?
It's Mag Jam.
Mag Jam. I would suggest maybe listening to Nude Clan, but someone did. There's been 2 people who have offered to DM for us for our first Dungeons and Dragons experience.
Right.
One was Gammon Stark, who's a friend of the show, and then another one was. I'm sorry, I forgot their avatar name. Anyway, they also offered to DM for us, and it's somewhere in the forums. So I would say yes to both of those. We just need to figure out a time to do that, and we would totally do that on Nude Clan. I don't know how different it would be, like you said, we could just call it Final Fantasy for it to be a Final Fantasy one. And maybe there are some fan-made D&D campaigns that are out on the internet that are for Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah. If not, I'm sure we could come up with something pretty easily.
I'm not that interested in doing that. I'm more interested in just playing the normal one. And I'll call my guy Nuborius, and that's my name that I use in 11 and 14 anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, we'll think about it, but that is more of a Nude Clan thing. It'd be more fun with 4 people than 2. So Crimson Command says, quests in Lightning Returns. What was your favorite main quest in Lightning Returns, and which of the many side quests stuck out to you most? Most of the side quests were whatever, but I enjoyed the introduction to the last ones, which was the Diviner quest. You know what? I think we might have.
We did. We totally did answer this question.
We did answer this.
We pulled this up because we were like, oh, it's outside of the questions thing, but then he copied and pasted his question.
Dude, I think you're totally right. Yeah. I think he did put it into the other spot. Okay, anyway. Sorry.
Yeah.
Irat asks,
listen to last week's episode for the answer to that question.
Yeah. You'll have to find it. Final Fantasy HD Collection says, okay, this is a hypothetical question. If, and that's a big if, Square... You know what? God damn it. This sounds familiar too, but I don't know. If they released a collection of FF1 through 9 on PS4, would you play all of them again?
As an HD remaster? Yeah, not for the show, but I would play them again. Some of them. Definitely. Totally did answer that question too.
I think we did, dude.
Oh my god, we're lost in the forums. We don't know where we are.
Oh god.
Oh god. What is this one?
Blank of Mana Games. That I know for sure.
Oh, okay.
You know, the bad thing about the remaster thing is we've been talking about that for months and months and months, so it's like we could have answered that. But we've also said that we would, and that we would be excited for it, because that was a theory behind the 30th anniversary thing. Muddled. All right.
Yep.
Have you guys played / enjoyed any of the Mana games? I really only know of Secret and Legend, and will say from what I remember, Legend was really, really awesome, says Black Mage Justin.
Okay, Black Mage Justin. They are on our to-play list because the first one was titled The Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
So we will play the Mana games. I, however, have not played any of them.
I haven't touched them for a second. I bought 2 of them. I have, I think, Secret of Mana, and I think I actually have Secret and Legend of Mana. I can't remember what one of them was. I have one that's a PS2 game and one that's a PS1 game. And I haven't played them. I honestly, there are plenty of games that I want to play that I own that are Final Fantasy-ish games, and I am intentionally avoiding them because I know we're going to play them for the show. And I have other games that I can play in the meantime.
Yeah, Mana's on the list. The entire Mana series that's made it over here is on the list.
Yeah, Crimson Command says, I played Secret of Mana, and that was it. I never finished it, unfortunately, but really enjoyed it. I first played it at a cousin's house on 2-player. Ooh, that's a good sign. I fell in love with the game and then never played it again because I moved away. By the time I found the game, my life was so busy that I never got a chance to play it through. 2-player mode makes this game way easier. It's a tough one. Sounds like we might have to play it together.
Might have to kill each other for a week.
Yeah, that is very accurate. But yeah, I don't know. We have a few games coming up that are optionally multiplayer, and Jake said that he was telling me that Crystal Chronicles, the first one, is
All
actually
of them are supposed to be.
Yeah, he said the first one. He's only played one of them. He said it's a really awesome multiplayer. So,
Okay.
I don't know.
Excited for that then.
Yeah, it's going to be a weird. How are we going to do that?
Very quickly.
Yeah,
Probably go through those games in a week because we're both doing them, and whenever we get together to do something quickly, somehow it gets done faster.
that's true, actually. So, I mean, we'll have to look at how long they are. But, oh man, there's so many games out there, and that's the thing is like everyone asks us if we've played all of these old games that are supposed to be really awesome, and it's like they're coming up, and I don't want to mess with my view of it at all. I mean, we've already done that with some of the other games, and nostalgia might play a factor in our rankings, and I'd rather it just be what we feel at the time. So they are backseated for now.
All right. Well, Schweiss, we do have a iTunes review. Am I crazy?
No, you are not. We have one
Sweet.
iTunes review. iTunes reviews. iTunes reviews. This one is from Poohman42431. This podcast is great.
Pooh Man, like Winnie the Pooh or poop?
Is
there an H or no?
There's no, it's just Pooh.
Okay, then it's Pooh. That's disgusting.
I love this podcast.
They call me the Pooh Man.
Yeah. It made me want to replay all the Final Fantasy games. Check out Nude Clan also, another great cast. They're going to watch Time Cop.
No, we're not. But not as the Nude Clan. We're not going to watch Time Cop.
Yeah.
It is not a game based on it's not a movie based on a game.
It's true.
So we can't play Time Cop. He was excited because we reviewed Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Which had Jean-Claude Van Damme, and that's just another one of his terrible
I think he
movies.
left a review on Nude Clan as
He
well.
did. He did.
We're going to review.
So the series, the order that we're supposed to read these reviews is his Nude Clan review, and then the Ultima review.
Yeah.
But we just did it in the opposite order.
Yeah.
So I will watch Time. I promise you, sir, that I will watch Time Cop on my own time.
And talk about it on the show.
And maybe brush on it on the show. But
depends on how good it is. Joe will talk about it all day if it's good. If not...
Or really bad. It's one of the
That's
two.
true, yeah. I have a real quick question from us to you, and then we will wrap this bad boy up.
Let's do it.
So this week's question from us to you, since Joe and I want to get the hell out of Dodge before they totally change up the way the game is played, what 3 quests, 3 extra things that aren't the main story that you know we haven't done?
That's good to leave it to 3. Thank you,
3
Jesus, for doing that.
From each of you, what 3 things do we have to do before we move on from Heavensward? And we will take a look at that list, and whichever ones appeal to us the most, we'll play. I mean,
let's do it.
I want to experience what
your
the game
top
is meant
3
to be.
things to do in Final Fantasy XIV that is not in the story.
Yeah, and it's not. Don't do like guild hests or not that would ever be anybody's favorite, but or daily roulettes or anything like that. Like story. Like a quest line, a specific dungeon that's really
or
bitchin'.
a specific fight, or
there's the Odin
like
fight. I know that one's a really popular one.
Or some sort of activity that we just don't know how to do yet.
Yeah,
something.
Any of those.
Your
things.
top 3.
Yeah, top 3. Let us know, and we will take that into consideration during our brief playthrough of Heavensward, so that we don't get rocked by the new job system. I would hate to be on like the final dungeon and like they just revamped everything, and we're like, no, we're supposed to review it in 2 days. We can't even play the thing. that would be rough. So,
All right.
hit us up with that.
Okay, well, that's totally going to be it for this episode of Ultimate Final Fantasy. Once again, you can find us on YouTube, Facebook. You can tweet me at Joseph DeGaulier.
Me at UFF Podcast.
If you want to see us do the episodes live, Saturdays usually, check us out on twitch.tv/Ultimate Final Fantasy. You can leave us a message or a question at 385-204-3921. Please leave us iTunes reviews also. We read those on the show, and if you don't leave us an iTunes review, we got to play that no iTunes review song.
Yeah, a Stitcher will also work for those. So let us know if you do a Stitcher one. I usually don't check them as often, but that is part of the iTunes review thing.
And you can tweet me at Joseph DeGaulier.
Well, we already said that.
Did we do that?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Me at UFF Podcast. Let's do it again.
UltimateFinalFantasy.com. There's a Patreon, Amazon, and PayPal links there. And, well, fuck it, man. We'll see you guys next week.
I do believe so. Enjoy the FF14 grind.
This has been another production of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast. The show was produced by Joseph DeGaulier and Caleb Schweiss, with music and editing by Joseph DeGaulier, parodies and clips from their respective authors, of course. You can get all of our episodes as well as our Let's Plays at ultimafinalfantasy.com. You can also contact us on Twitter at UFF Podcast, as well as our contact page on our website. Be sure to subscribe and review our podcast. Your reviews may get read on the show, and look forward to the next episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast.
Oh, shit. Forgot to thank the new patrons, by the way. Thank you, Chris Jappert from the Godzilla podcast.
Oh, my God. Thank you.
Fun to Mop for your recent pledges. It's going to be put to good use. Thanks, guys.